Hi, it's Shanta from Mill Valley Pilates. I wanted to talk today about the pelvic floor. It's one of those subjects that kind of eludes a lot of people, and it's so important for men and women. But today I think I'll talk mostly about women's pelvic floors and then maybe do a separate one on men's. But it's so important for core health and core strength and balance as we age, and it's one of those muscle groups that really gravity and time puts a lot of pressure on, and if it doesn't get enough attention, we end up having problems. Weak pelvic floor, tight and weak pelvic floors, underactive and weak, or overactive and weak. That's kind of something that you might not have thought about, but overactive, super tight pelvic floors can also be weak and give you the same trouble in terms of incontinence or lack of balance or lack of muscle, abdominal tone that we want. Could be because of a weak pelvic floor. So let's think about, I'm on the ball, but you could be on a chair. In fact, let me just switch it out. A chair, easier to balance on. Think about the bony landmarks of the pelvic floor. I wish I had a skeleton to show you, but basically the bones that you're sitting on right now on your chair are your sit bones on either side from left to right, and your pubic bone from front to back. And you want to think about those as your bony landmarks, and as we do certain exercises, you're not going to move the bones, you're just going to know where they are and think about the hammock of muscles that crisscross from one side to the other, left to right, or from front to back, right? And that creates kind of like a bowl or a base of the pelvic floor. So think about that. And we're going to try to just connect to, and in fact, it's mostly in your mind's eye and visualizing it first before you really feel like anything's happening. Your muscles between your sit bones. So find those bones that you're sitting on, those kind of pointy bones underneath here, and don't tense those, but just find the muscles between those from left to right and try to engage them as if they were magnetizing toward each other, and then relax and exhale, engage those muscles, and then inhale, relax. And then just practice that a few times, exhaling on the engagement of the muscles, inhaling on the relax. And just understand that it's equally as important to relax as it is to engage, because some of us have overactive or tight pelvic floors, and we have to focus on the relaxation half of it. And some of us have more underactive pelvic floors that need to focus on kind of shoring everything up and tightening everything up. So both are important. So that was one axis, right, from left to right. Then we're going to move on from front to back. So from pubic bone to tailbone. You can also do this lying down on the floor with your knees bent. I'll show that to you next. So think about from pubic bone to tailbone, from front to back, trying to connect those muscles toward the midline, right underneath yourself. And then relax. And connecting those muscles. And then relaxing. Keeping that going, exhale, engaging, inhale, relaxing. And notice what other parts of your bodies, if any, are tensing. Is it your jaw? Is it your hip flexors? Your feet? Your muscles around your tailbone? This one can be, especially if you're doing it on the floor, lying with your tailbone against something, you might find that you're tensing the muscles around your tailbone. That's actually not what I want. I want those muscles equally from front to back, not everything in the back tightening, right? No glute muscles on this. Just those pelvic floor hammock muscles between the pubic bone and the tailbone. Good. Then, moving on, you might just practice that for a couple days, but if you want to add on to it, you're going to try to get them to intersect, right? So we're going to try to connect the sit bone to sit bone connection, hold it, keep that going, and then add the pubic bone to tailbone connection as well, so that the lines intersect in the middle, right underneath yourself, and then release everything. And sit bone to sit bone connection, pubic bone to tailbone connection, almost like you're finding that triangle of sit bone to sit bone, pubic bone to tailbone, right? And connecting all of your axes there, and then relax. A lot of times when I'm teaching this to people, I've noticed that they have the breathing backwards. They want to inhale and engage and exhale and relax. And so we work a lot on just the breathing part of it. So inhaling to relax the pelvic floor and exhaling to engage it. That's like kind of a baseline of practice. Let's move on to the floor and practice a couple of those things. So same idea on the floor, just a different vantage point, but trying to find those sit bone to sit bone connections, pubic bone to tailbone connection, and then release. And then I want you to add on to that. This is, again, I'm giving you layers, and you can choose where to work on and then when to move on. If you're feeling frustrated, go back to the first sit bone to sit bone connection, pubic bone to tailbone connection, until you're ready to move on. Because it can be a little frustrating because it's new. These are tiny little muscles that, you know, you're not used to using. You're used to using your bigger muscles, you know, your glutes and your quads and your hip flexors. And none of that gets to help on this. So think about, now that you know the landmarks of the bony landmarks of the pelvic floor, think about it kind of like a drawstring purse. And if you were to draw up the center of the body, almost like an elevator, up and then back down. Okay? So find your pubic bone to tailbone connection, find your sit bone to sit bone connection, and draw it up the body just an inch or two, lifting and holding on that exhale. And then inhale, going back down. And then again, find the sit bone to sit bone, pubic bone to tailbone, draw it up the elevator to the first floor, maybe to the second, back down to the first, and then relax it all the way down. And one more of those. Find a connection, exhale, lift the pelvic floor up. Just an inch, we're way below the belly button in terms of where we're headed upward, right up the midline of the body. Very low, and then back down. And all of that's on the exhale. The exhale to lift, and then the inhale to lower. Okay, that's a good place to start. I can add on for you as you practice that. There are a couple books that I really love. One in particular is called The Female Pelvis by Blandine Calais-Germain. I'll try to post that in the next video, what it looks like so you can see it. But it's got a lot of anatomy and also exercises like this that you can do. Great, so try that and let me know what you think. Thanks.